If you thought that Jacksonville's statement on Urban Meyer was going to put an end to this whole thing, you could not have been more wrong, because the Urban Liar Express just keeps rolling right along. It's one of the most jacked up things ever for a head coach when the team owner has to issue a statement that calls your actions, quote, inexcusable, and then concludes with, quote, now he must regain our trust and our respect. That will require a personal commitment from Urban to everyone who supports, represents, or plays for our team. I am confident he will deliver. End of quote. The dreaded vote of confidence from the boss when the team is struggling. I mean, that's bad. Then there is no excuse for you embarrassing yourself and this organization, and we no longer trust or respect you. Hammer job from the owner. Not very often you hear an owner go in on a coach like that. In fact, I've never heard it. And yet somehow Herb managed to put himself in that very position. That is not easy to do, but Urban Liar pulled it off. You never want a statement like that to be issued about you, especially when you're only 4 games in as the coach, and you've lost all 4 of those games. You never want that. Just like you never want tweets like the thread from Mike Silver coming out about you as well. You do not want a tweet about you that includes, quote, one player told me he has zero credibility in that stadium. He had very little to begin with, end quote. Not even zero credibility in that locker room, but zero credibility in that stadium. Like zero credibility in that state. Zero credibility, period.
Period.
You don't want that. Just like you don't want another tweet which reads, quote, players were particularly put off by the fact that Meyer canceled Monday's team meeting as he dealt with the uproar over the videos of him and a young woman getting cozy in that Ohio bar. He even canceled the team meeting. He was too scared. And when you do reportedly apologize to position groups, you don't want this coming out. Quote, said one player, we looked at him like, WTF. Right when he left, everyone started dying laughing. And he knew it. End quote. Man, that is so brutal and incredible. 4 games into his NFL career, and the alleged coaching icon has not only completely lost his players, but they are, quote, dying laughing. Why wouldn't they be laughing at this guy? He's a joke to them. He got busted on multiple videos for doing the very thing that he tells them not to do. And then he got caught lying about it as well. Of course they're going to clown him. Of course they're going to lose all respect for him. They probably were clowning him and had lost respect for him even before he came off the rails in Columbus. Like, I guarantee that guy had next to no respect from that team even before those vids went viral, and then he lied about them. And if that's the case, how could he have any left credibility as of right now? And more importantly, how the hell is he going to re-earn their respect if he ever even had it to begin with? He was never right in that spot. He never looked comfortable. The team never looked prepared. And of course, he came completely unhinged when they started to lose, just like everybody knew he would. Of course, his body language was terrible. Of course, his language was even worse when he started to puke up all that nonsense about how devastating it all was, how heartbreaking it all is, about how there were all these good people in that locker room. Like, all that nonsense that worked for him on the college level was never going to fly on Sundays. But he just doesn't get it. He's not built for it. And that was pretty clear after their meltdown against the Bengals dropped them to 0-4. Because why? What did he do? Instead of grinding film and working with his staff on the trip to the airport and on the flight back to Jacksonville, like every other coach in the history of the world, in preparation for their next game, a game, by the way, against the Titans, coached by a division rival, or I should say a division rival coached by a former assistant, instead of doing what every other coach does, he bailed. He quit. He gave up and he went to go get drunk and let some co-ed grind. Went to hang out with his grandkids. And then lied about it. If you want to come in here and tell me that people are being too harsh on this guy for the videos with that younger woman, that's cool. That's fine. In fact, I'd even agree with you. I'm not caught up in that. I'm not reveling in that. I really don't care that much about that at all. I would imagine that's caused a tremendous amount of pain to the people he loves, but that's not the issue here for me. The issue is that for the first time anybody could ever remember, who has ever covered the NFL, a head coach skipped a team flight and prepping for the next game so he could hang out with his friends and his family for a while. Like, he quit on the job, on his players, on everything. The guy was getting stacks and stacks and stacks of cash to make the jump to the NFL and demanding accountability, responsibility, discipline, and execution from everybody around him. And then the second adversity hits, he crumbles and he shows none of that himself. There's a word for that. That word is freaking hypocrite. And again, why did he abandon the fight? Why did he quit on his team? Because hashtag Buddy deserved a night out. I mean, forget the videos. That this is the worst part. He thought that after losing every game to start the season, he deserved a night out. He thought it'd be all right to just quit and not work. And could you imagine, for instance, turn this thing on its head. What if Trevor Lawrence skipped the team flight and instead went to hang out in his old stomping ground in Clemson? What if Trev went back to Clemson and put on a Clemson pullover to hang out with some co-eds? You think Herb would have been okay with that? Yeah, I doubt that. And by the way, the photos and the videos, they're not even from Thursday night. That wasn't like some late night party after the game. It was the following night. So that's a long time for a head coach to be away from the facility during the season, especially a season that's already come off the rails. Then again, the fact that Meyer stepped in it once again is nothing new. It happens everywhere he goes. It's the same script from Florida and Ohio State, except this time he flipped the script. Normally, he has a ton of success, and then the scandal hits, and then the lying really begins. This time, though, he skipped the success and went straight to the scandal and the lie. Busted right out of the gate with the scandal and the terrible decisions and the bad losses. Like, he's the coach of an 0-4 football team and has been in over his head since he got there. I'd be stunned if he had much credibility before the video dropped. I can't imagine he's got any left right now. And how do you earn that back, honestly? How is he going to earn that back? Because the way he's rolling right now sure is not helping. And then you got that screen cap circulating of Meyer. Have you seen this? The screen cap from his analyst days, breaking down the criteria to examine struggling teams. These are the things he put up himself. Number 1, trust issues. Number 2, dysfunctional environment. Number 3, selfishness. Nailed it, Gramps. Are there trust issues there? Hell yes. The owner said so in a statement. We don't trust you. You got to earn our respect back. Is it a dysfunctional environment? Hell yes. The players are laughing their asses off about him. Is he selfish? Selfish as hell if he's sending his team and the coaches home after their 4th loss in a row, but he's running back to his old stomping grounds to get his drink and his grind on. Hang out with the grandkids. We're talking about a guy who loves to talk about leadership, integrity, and character, yet is showing none. Didn't he once teach a course on leadership and integrity and character? This dude is so far in over his head. Also, didn't he say, like, it's going to come down to whether or not his veterans are able to lead in the next game? Now he's putting it on the players? The players that have no respect for him? So now what? Now he's got to beg them for their forgiveness? Now he's got to beg them for their buy-in? But they're too busy laughing their asses off at him to hear anything he has to say. So let me ask you this. At this point, why would Shad Khan keep this guy around? For what? What is he getting? 0 wins. The awesomeness of a head coach who bailed on his team 1 month into the season to hang out with his family. Like, why? Why do you want this guy? Because it's so great to have the team dragged through the mud and have your own players laughing at your head coach? Everybody knows this is who Urban Meyer is. This is the guy who led a class on leadership and character at Ohio State. This is what you get when you bring him in. It's just that normally you get wins before all this crap starts happening. So tell me once again, why is he still the head coach in Jacksonville? It's not because of results, and it's not because the players love him and trust him and respect him and will go to battle for him. I mean, the reports would indicate that none of that is true. So why is he still there? Based on the hope and the dream that somehow he can turn this thing around? I mean, again, what evidence has there been that that's going to happen? And even if he does, you're just waiting for the next scandal. You're waiting for the next time that Urban goes Urban. When will Urb go Urb again? And when he does, is he going to throw his other good players under the bus, like James Robinson or Josh Allen? Better yet, you know what he should do? If they're not going to fire this guy and they don't want to buy him out, he should just stay in Ohio. At least there, he has more than no credibility. He can just stay there, Zoom all of the coaches' meetings, Zoom all of the practices, have a ball boy run around the field with an iPad, and then just fly in for games on Sunday. Then he can fly back to Ohio, rock the Buckeye gear all week long, and then go to the grocery store and hopefully get the cashier to give him the attention and the love that he wants. Then maybe he can go to the gas station and maybe take some pics with some fans. Pump gas, Herb, not co-eds. Hang out with the grandkids. Again, it jumps the day. It somehow got worse. Like, I really want to move along. I would like to stop talking about this, yet it jumped the day, and there it is. Right in our face. Right in our face.